Hey everyone, it's a Ken Talks Stocks and Talks the World podcast. Let's have some fun. So, I spent some time building a stock market analysis and tracker. It was surprisingly easy. There's a website, the NASDAQ stock screener website that you just go here and they will let you just download a CSV of all the companies on the NYSE and the NASDAQ and I think the AmEx. They'll throw them all in here and just give you this table of the current price whenever you download from their website. It's the most awesome thing ever. So I built a pivot table for this, and I want to show you how much fun this is to kind of dig through the results of the day in this Excel file. So I wanted to take a broad look at everything, and then we're going to start to dive down and have some fun and dig into different countries and different sectors and stuff like that, just to show you how you use this. This is it's not even really a product. It's just a pivot table based off the data that you get off NASDAQ's website. So this is really super easy to create. I'll probably do a video in the future showing how I did this, but it's really not that bad. It's just a pivot table because they give you everything you need. So I'm going to talk about how to view this because you have 7,000 something companies in here. Yeah, 7,700 and change. And that's a lot of companies. So how do you browse through everything and kind of get an understanding of what the market is doing and understanding trends and just taking a look at things? Well, first of all, on a day where we have 7,099 companies apparently that we're tracking in here, the advancers and decliners looks like 45% went up, 55% went down. That's all countries, all companies, all like duplicate stuff where there's two different shares of Google, two different shares of Berkshire Hathaway. This is everything right here. And it's down $250 billion, right? So the markets as a whole lost $250 billion as a rough estimate in market value. The way I'm figuring that out is I'm taking the percentage change in the day, and multiplying it by the market cap, which I assume is the market cap at the beginning of the day, but I might be wrong. Might be the market cap at the end of the day. Point is, it doesn't really matter all that much because we're just getting rough estimates. All right. So Apple lost about $18.7 billion in market cap yesterday on Wednesday. That's what that means. Now, I summed them all up to get a total look at everything. It gets really fun to do this. So right now we're looking at this huge list of 7,000 companies in the order of market cap, biggest companies on top. That's the order we're going in. Let's pretend that we only care about Argentina. How did Argentina as a country do today in the market? Well, they had 5 advancers and 10 decliners, yet they made $1.1 billion overall in market cap that increased. Why is that? They have one company that's apparently the only company on any of the exchanges that's worth anything more than $4 billion. 64 billion is what the market cap is. It's Mercado Libre. Sounds like a free market, common stock. They went up by $24. They went up by 1.2 billion. It's all of them right there. So if you're investing in Argentina, apparently that's the company to go with. That's like the only big one, right? So we just learned that about Argentina and the markets. How about Australia? Australia made $543 million today when it comes to their companies on the market. Where did they make it? Once again, the company that has the largest market cap also did it. And it looks like it's BHP Group Limited American Depository, whatever that is. They only went up a little bit, but because they're the biggest company, they had over $1 billion net change in market cap. So now we're starting to get interesting, right? We can see different countries. We can see what countries are tied to what companies and how things did. So that just shows you one awesome thing. Well, what about sectors, right? Because a lot of times people have to look by sector. What if you have, you want to keep an eye on an area of the market to see how is it doing? Let's go with finance. Banking industries have an interesting day, right? Well, what happened with finance companies in all countries? Well, let's actually just look at the United States banks and finance stuff for a second. Let's just do United States because I want to go through some big name companies. I want to show you how you can read this algorithm to start to get some algorithm, read this table and get an understanding of how you can track activity and understand how the market works a little bit. So with just US finance companies, where we're sorting descending by market cap, biggest companies on top. Well, more, only 37% advancers, 63% decliners, losing $51 billion today. Where did the losses happen? The answer, it happened on every single one of these big market cap companies. How many do we have to go down until we have one of these that had a positive day? You got to go all the way down to here. KKR company common stock, like 25 companies down or something to be up $78 million, right? Everything else down. Now, why is that? Well, you could say that there's a lot of hesitation in the US about banks right now because every other day, a new big one that we thought was stable ends up going down and having to get covered by the FDIC or whatever. So there's a lot of hesitation because of the raising of interest rates. And yesterday being Wednesday, it's still today, but I'm talking about yesterday because most people will watch this video tomorrow on Thursday. But Wednesday the 3rd, this day was a down day because the Fed made their 10th consecutive rate increase hike of 0.25 basis points, I believe. So anytime interest rates go up, it hits banks hard because their lending rate goes up between banks intraday or whatever. So it's kind of obvious. Now, will this continue to go down? Maybe. If it does, you can kind of see the order of the companies where there's value, where they might drop. So that's an interesting way you can look at finance. How about energy? US energy companies. 20% only went up, 80% went down. Brutal, down $29 billion. First time you see a winner is here with Phillips 66. That's it. They go up. Everything else is down except for mpix too, whatever. So you get a really interesting look. ExxonMobil lost $8.6 billion today in market cap, about it's the estimate. So, it just, when you start to try to put colors and attributes to these numbers, things start to make a little bit more sense. And you understand where things are happening. So let's talk, better news, not companies and industries that are bad, but are having trouble. Where do you like investing right now? And I wouldn't say consumer staples necessarily. I would say that one of the places that always interests me is technology. Technology is a big one. And there's going to be some technology, and there's going to be some miscellaneouses also. But as we look through there, what you can also do is you can sort, or you can go down to a sub-industry. But let's do some interesting sorting here, which is instead of by market cap, let's go with day change or percentage change descending, because I want to show you some interesting things. So we're going to change our sort. And instead of looking at market cap, we're going to look at percent day change descending. This is going to show you the largest percentage-wise gainers for the day. Problem is, a lot of these companies are really, really low or no market cap value. So it's not really all that helpful because these little guys can do anything at any given time. So we're going to put another filter on here, which is we're going to filter for market cap size. We want every company we look at to have a market cap of at least $1 billion. So we're putting a filter on here saying 1,000 million. It needs to be greater than. Now you start to get something that looks a little bit more interesting. So you get larger companies that had big percentage day gains. And what do you see? See a company that's got a market cap of 7 billion having an insane, huge amount of volume today, 8 million shares or something. And it's super microcomputer common stock. This is a company that supports AI processing type hardware, software, Internet of Things or whatever. They revised their earnings from last year or something and provided new guidance. And I'm guessing that information was really good because this stock went up by 28%, right? So these things can happen. I don't know what Sapiens International Corporation is. These are in all different countries. This is in Caraco. I don't even know Caraco was a country. Apparently it is. get stuff in Cyprus. I mean, and watch out for these type of things. But when you look at, if you want to look for the United States, a little bit more stable on the United States side, then you can see that little fuse went up. Also, I don't know what little fuse is, but this just starts to show you areas where you see these green things pop up. It just means that somebody's doing something and somebody's seeing something, and these are the outliers that are popping up. It really just helps you browse through everything. It's pretty amazing, right? So this can just do anything, and I felt the need to share. And if anybody wants, advice about how to use this or a copy of this, contact me, because I'm still working on it, clearly. But I just found it so helpful that I just wanted to share. So we're going to clear our filters off. We're going to go back and sort again, descending by market cap, because that's really helpful. You want to see how these big market caps do, because they're going to have a lot of activity. You're also looking for big volume as well. Here's a bank getting traded a lot, Wells Fargo. We could do this by volume, but you're also going to get some weird looks on top, because there's going to be some companies that aren't worth very much that had tremendous volume, like this Mullen Automotive, that's a $242 million market cap, had a billion some shares traded today, and they're down 21%, but they only went from 8 to 6 cents basically. So what is going on here? That, if anything, that says something funky is going on. I mean, anytime I see penny stock trading with this kind of insanity, I don't know what to think. I think regulators is what I think. I'm like, this just doesn't look right. So that's another thing this pivot table does, is it shows you just weird stuff popping up that probably needs to be looked into. So here's what we're worth. But then look at this. Number 3 on all companies trading. Who is it? Tesla, one of my favorite companies. They just have so much activity back and forth on them. They're valued at $509 billion. And, here you go. You've got a reasonable price. You can expect volume out of them. Why so much volume on advanced micro devices today as they go down? Good question. But just looking at this in this order, it kind of just tells you where to look to learn things and where to then start to take advantage of value. Immunogen, low stock, but they almost doubled in value today, like from 1.3 to 2.7 billion or something like that. 1.5 to 2.7 or something like that. According to this, that's what that says. Why? Right? Something to look into. So I would look at this idea as a tool about how you start your analysis to look further into companies, because if anything, this just colorizes and then lets you know where you might want to look at something, except if it's really, really a low company. Here comes the market cap. So anyway, I just felt like sharing. I have been doing all kinds of work, not really sports algorithm work, because that's not really where I want to be. I'd rather do some more analysis about what's actually going on in the world. And this is where you actually see that, and you see things go down a couple $100 billion, $200 billion, and then it goes up $1 billion. And market makes and loses trillions of dollars. You can see over periods of time, because there's just so much money in the system. I mean, what is the total market cap of the market, right? That would be the sum of all market caps on this here, would be this. That at the bottom is showing me and saying 56,104,470, which means that's in millions. So it's 470 million, 104 billion, 56 trillion, 104 billion. So there's $56 trillion in all of these companies, estimated market cap on this day. That's a lot of money. And if you want to get into understanding why the industry, which seems to pay the best and has the most money going through it, it is the markets. And the markets are fluctuating really every second of the day because of the way the planet spins. And so having tools like this to be able to browse just gives you an advantage in understanding where to look and how to understand broad macroeconomic impacts and how they really filter down into the market. So like I said, just felt like I wanted to share. If you want any information, contact me on kenbraverman.com and I'll get back to you. All right. Good luck. May all your trades be winning.